His walking stick was a very important accessory. As the writer G.K. Chesterton described it, it was partly to hold a man up, partly to knock a man down. A crutch and a cudgel, an elongated finger, and an extra leg. The piece of wood was often significant in itself. This walking stick belonged to Sergeant Weller Rothrock of the Holcomb Legion of South Carolina during the war in the 1860s. Later, an official in the United Confederate Veterans Organization. And not only was it useful as a walking stick, it was a symbolic item as well. It is made from the wood of the gun carriage of the weapon that arguably fired the first shot of the war. A cannon which fired on the ship the Star of the West in Charleston Harbor, which was on its way to reinforce Fort Sumter. So the silver-headed cane carried by Weller Rothrock to many a Confederate veterans reunion was both a support and a reminder of his history. You'll see in the manner of South Carolina canes, it also is pretty stout with a nice weighty metal head. Another cane which came down to us in our collection. Thank you, Courtney. This one, more of a plain stick, very light, very agile, and this particular one has an engraving on the cap here from Jim Lanier to M.C. Butler. Well, M.C. in this case is Matthew Culbraith Butler, a former Confederate general, senator from South Carolina after the war, and later United States general in the Spanish-American War. He helped with the evacuation of Spanish troops off the island of Cuba. Now it's interesting that this one, although it has, again, the nice metal tip and the beautiful engraving, it's not all that stout. It doesn't look like a very good support. One would have thought that Matthew Butler might have favored a more serious supporting cane, since the man had lost his foot at the Battle of Brandy Station in 1863, an injury which kept him out of the war for only a few months. Both the Carolinas campaign and his service as a United States general in Cuba would be performed